myself, no doubt, no shame. Embracing my greatness, owning my name. They say stay humble, but I can't contain the fire that's inside of me. Drives me insane. I've been grinding for years, putting in the work. Now it's time to shine, live without a smirk. I'm supposed to feel myself, get to part of the game. Claiming my throne, nigga, never feeling tame. I overcame the struggles, battled through the pain. Now I'm on top, they can't deny the flame. I'm in my zone, nigga, I'm an unstoppable force. On the rise, staying on the course. I'm out of sight, out of mind, I'm on my grind, yeah. If a nigga play, then he gon' meet his demise. Staying out of sight, out of mind with my nine. I'm destined to shine, I'm the king of my own castle, the ruler of my own fate. I'm living the life I always dreamed of. It is never too late, no, no. No, it's never too late, no, no, nigga. Well, that's all your niggas get, nigga. It's a freestyle. Spring Valley, fuck. Peace, divine reflections. You're tuned into the Mirror Effect podcast, and I'm your host, TriGGaTheGod. Tonight we go deep, beyond the forbidden. This is episode 8, Forbidden Fruit, the metaphysics of black men, white women, and the ancestral echo. This isn't about the surface controversy. This is so deep decoding. We're diving into race, power, desire, illusions, and ancestral programming, and how black men and white women became symbols in a psychic war that still echoes through our timelines today. We all see what's been going on in the news and social media with Shannon Sharp. The age, the race part of it, and everything that's been going on with Mr. Shannon Sharp. For the brothers out there, for black men out here, did you get the lesson? We've been shown, especially in the past 12 months, too many examples of what not to do. Whether you're rich, wealthy, or poor, or whatever level you're in, this is another example, another lesson that we all need to get into our head. But too many of us is loyal to our needs, loyal to our lust, right? Lacking discernment, lacking discipline. This is a spiritual autopsy, not to divide, but to uncover and to remember and to heal. Let's go beneath the veil. The Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and the archetype of forbidden desires. The apple wasn't fruit, it was knowledge, temptation, and duality. How this archetype was weaponized in the colonial era to associate black men with carnal danger and white women with divine purity. What does forbidden fruit triggering you. Rebellion, desire, or erasure. I want you to reclaim the sacredness of desire by purifying intention. Ask this: is this union driven by trauma, fantasy, or truth? How white women became symbolic of national purity in colonial propaganda, while white women femininity was protected by law, violence, and narrative, the pedestal and the cage. Black men as a threat to this purity, not for who they were, but what they reflected: uncontainable power. Let me repeat that. Black men as a threat to this purity, not for who they were, but what they reflected: uncontainable power. There's a book called The ISIS Papers by the elder Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Every black man should get that book, The ISIS Papers. It's not one of those books that you just read and you put away. It's one of those books where you have to continue to read it. You have to continue to go back to it because it really breaks down everything we're seeing with Shannon Sharp. It breaks down from a psychological perspective about a lot of shit, about what's going on today, what went on in the past. It's a real good book that every black man should have. Powerful, powerful book. You can find it on Amazon. It's called The ISIS Papers, The Keys to Colors by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Definitely, definitely get that book, man. Read that book, study that book. Like I said, black men as a threat to this so-called purity, not for who we were or who they were, but what they reflected: uncontainable power. White women were cast as goddesses of illusion in the colonizer's matrix, not inherently evil, but used to seduce the soul away from its purpose. Let me repeat that. White women were cast as goddesses of illusion in the colonizer's matrix, not for inherently evil, but used to seduce the soul away from its purpose. Who taught you that whiteness equals status? What ancestral price was paid for proximity to power? Here's a solution in sight. Clear ancestral trauma through shadow journaling. Write down 3 desires you carry that ain't truly yours. Emmett Till, the Scott Burroughs Boys, countless unknown names, victims, white women's false accusations have cost black men their lives, literally. These patterns form psychic scars that still influence black male self-perception and fear of vulnerability to this day. Here's a metaphysical perspective. The fear of punishment for loving outside the tribe became embedded in the soul, creating generational fear, mistrust, and self-policing. What are you afraid of being accused of, and where did that fear begin? Energy clearing rituals that we all need to do and partake in, and say aloud, I sever all ancestral fear rooted in false blame, and I reclaim my innocence. How internalized, how internalized white supremacy affects attraction. The allure of whiteness as a symbol of validation and the subconscious rejection of black women in the process. How integration without spiritual sovereignty leads to cultural erasure. Attraction is energetic, but energy can be hijacked when desire is trauma coded. We chase our own destruction. Let me repeat that. Attraction is energetic, but energy can be hijacked when desire is trauma coded. We chase our own destruction. Hurt people hurt people. Who or what are you trying to become by being with someone outside your reflection? Let me repeat that. Who or what are you trying to become by being with someone outside your reflection? We all need to reprogram. Look at yourself in the mirror and affirm, I am desirable, I am divine and whole. No external validation required. Historically, black women have been the spiritual, emotional, and physical backbone of the black struggle. Despite betrayal and erasure, they continue to stand in love, often without acknowledgement. The cultural wound caused when black men internalize whiteness and project that pain onto black women. Black women are not just queens, they are mirrors. To reject them is to reject the part of yourself that knows how to endure and still love. As a black man myself, who married a beautiful, intelligent, spiritual, divine feminine black queen, I am honored to have a black woman. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for nobody else when I say this. Throughout my 30-something years of life, The people that held me down, that loved me, that cared for me, that protected me was Black women. If I didn't have some of the Black women that I had in my life as a teenager, or even today, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be dead, in prison, or who knows. It's always been a Black woman that looked out for me, that protected me, that taught me things. So I want to say gratitude to Black women all across the world. You are valued. You are loved by me. Reparation isn't just legal, it's spiritual. Start with apology, then alignment. Honor her by seeing her. Not all relationships are sacred. Some are karmic loops. Sex is a spiritual contract, even if you use a condom. Even if that condom is for a man, or even if the condom is for a woman. Sex is a spiritual contract. And when you unacknowledged, it becomes an energy debt. Why interracial unions without healing often repeat colonial trauma on a soul level? Questions you have to ask yourself. Forbidden fruit tastes sweet, but often poisons the root. Every union opens a portal. What are you inviting through? Let me repeat that. Forbidden fruit tastes sweet, but often poisons the root. Every union opens a portal. What are you inviting through? Have your past relationships healed you or recycled your wounds? Let me repeat that. Have your past relationships healed you or recycled your wounds? Here's a solution insight, a soul retrieval visualization. I want you to close your eyes, call back your energy from every partner who never honored your spirit, and say this: I return to wholeness now. True love descends form, but not when form holds unhealed history. Union with others should not come at the expense of self erasure. Let me repeat that. Union with others should not come at the expense of self erasure. We must first date our soul, then our lineage, before we can love in truth. If you had no racial wounds, no trauma, who would you be drawn to? What would love look like? Just some questions for you to ask yourself. Stand before your reflection and say aloud, I release the lies of the colonizers' love story. I return to my truth, my soul, my people, my power. Let me repeat that. I release the lies of the colonizers' love story. I return to my truth, my soul, my people, my power. May this conversation not divide you, but refine you. You're not just a body drawn to another body. You are a soul remembering itself through every touch, every echo, every choice. Stay sovereign, stay sacred, and always look beyond the mirror. It's imperative. It's important to keep your eyes open, ears listening, and have discernment. When I'm looking at this situation with Shannon Sharp, the first thing I thought to myself was, okay, this is another lesson. This is another experience that's being put in front of us to analyze and to observe what not to do when you have money and when you don't have money. You would think for a man his age, who's pushing 60, would know better than to deal with what he was dealing with, as if there hasn't been lessons throughout history and examples in so many ways and so many levels that would tell you this is not a good idea. I don't know why we let our lust or we let our loyalty to pleasure or loyalty to our needs take us into places we know damn well we don't need to be. For the black men out there, this is another lesson. This is another example with Shannon Sharp, what not to do. And unfortunately, this is not going to be the last time. These examples will happen again in many different levels, whether rich or poor. I seen something online with one of these brothers that I know that passed away 1 year ago, June of 2024. And it finally really came out how he was basically murdered. He was in the car. Two black men were in the car, and a white woman was driving. She was doing 75 miles per hour in a 30-mile zone. She was intoxicated. She ended up crashing the car into a fence. Airbags were deployed. And this white woman left the scene and left those two black men in the car, where one of them succumbed to the injuries and died. That man was a father, a brother, an uncle, a son, gone for no reason. But there is a reason. Shit don't just happen, shit happens for a reason. But she left them. She didn't care about them. She didn't even report the accident. Mind you, this woman is 45 years old. And those two brothers were in their mid-30s or early 30s. One brother died. The other brother had severe injuries. There's a lesson in that. What is the lesson? Well, here's what I think the lesson would be. Discernment. Discernment. Stop hanging around people who act like they care for you, who just want to be around, like spiritual leeches. Stop hanging around people who don't know your value, who truly don't care for you. There's a way to know if somebody really cares for you. There's a way to know if somebody values you. There's many ways to know. And that's the importance of discernment. You are no longer operating in the unconscious contracts of your ancestors. Love is not an escape. It's a return to the soul, the self, the source. I want you to ask yourself, does certain unions expand or shrink you? Do we mirror the truth or do we mirror the trauma? Let me rephrase that. Do we, pardon me, do we mirror the truth or trauma? Can we both honor our cultural past without reenacting its wounds? A healed black man loves from a place of wholeness, not hunger. He doesn't chase whiteness as a fantasy, nor weaponize blackness as a defense. He becomes conscious in his choosings of his women, his mission, his energy, his frequency, his vibration. What does a healed love look like for you? Not a fantasy, but a frequency. Write it out. Describe the feeling. Visualize the behaviors. Claim the vibration. Sit in silence. Breathe deeply and slowly. Inhale wholeness. Exhale distortion. And speak aloud. I call in the kind of love that doesn't distort me, but restores me. I am aligned with relationships that honor me, my truth, my people, and my purpose. See your higher self holding hands with a partner who reflects your truth, not your trauma. Hold that image and anchor it. You don't have to carry the wounds of your ancestors, but you do have to honor them by choosing differently. Love, when conscious, is liberation. But love, when blind, becomes a chain disguised as pleasure. Choose wisely, my friends. Choose sovereignty. And know the fruit was never forbidden. It was misnamed to make you forget your divinity. Be authentically you. Be your authentic self. Discern, because we all need to have discernment. Discern. Hearing about that situation with that brother that passed away June of 2024, I feel like there was a lack of discernment. And I just thought to myself, I would never be in that situation. I would never be in that situation. But everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Life is about lessons and experience. Did you get the lesson? Did you get the lesson? This is episode 8. This is episode 8 of the Mirror Effect podcast. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for tapping in and having this conversation with me. Couple conversations, to be honest with you. But it's needed. It's therapeutic. Communication is key. And like I said, this is episode 8, Forbidden Fruit, the Metaphysics of Black Men, White Women, and the Ancestral Echo. Episode 9 coming soon. The Mirror Effect podcast with yours truly, TriGGaTheGod. Peace to the God and peace to you and yours. And I see y'all soon. I'm supposed to feel myself, no doubt, no shame. Embracing my greatness, owning my name. They say stay humble, but I can't contain the fire that's inside of me. Drives me insane. I've been grinding for years, putting in the work. Now it's time to shine, live without a smirk. I'm supposed to feel myself, it's a part of the game. Claiming my throne, nigga, never feeling tame. I overcame the struggles, battled through the pain. Now I'm on top, they can't deny the flame. I'm in my zone, nigga, I'm an unstoppable force, on the rise, staying on the course. I'm out of sight, out of mind, I'm on my grind, yeah. If a nigga play, then he gon' meet his demise. Staying out of sight, out of mind with my 9. I'm destined to shine, I'm the king of my own castle, the ruler of my own fate. I'm living the life I always dreamed of. It is never too late, no, it's never too late, no, nigga. Well, that's what your niggas get, nigga, it's a freestyle. Spring Valley, fuck.